Hey there, I want to talk about grading and my approach to grading, my philosophy of grading, if you will. The idea of grading is that it shows a person where they stand in relationship to a standard or an expectation. Grades are very important to students, especially if you are aiming to go on to a higher level of education. If you're going from a certificate program into a bachelor's or a certificate program into a master's, grades are very important for students who are looking to go to other programs that require a certain GPA to apply and be accepted. The fact of the matter is that in general, grades are an indication of how good a student you are, how good you are at learning and applying what you have learned. The reality is that in the profession, for most designers, grades don't matter. There are designers who practice who don't have degrees, but they are successfully practicing as a creative professional. So grades kind of require context, first of all. I've been a practicing designer for over 40 years now, and teaching for well over 25 years part-time in addition to that. In my professional experience as a designer, no client has ever asked to see my GPA. They've never asked to see a transcript. They've never even asked to see my diploma. We get our work professionally on the basis of the quality of our work and our ability to solve problems and manage projects. When you're taking a course, when you're in a program, whether it's a certificate program or a degree program, the goal in reality is not to earn a grade. The goal in reality is to gain skill and knowledge so that you can practice and that your work can be of high quality, significant, substantial, satisfying, and it can serve others. Design is a service profession. So the grades you earn in school have no bearing on whether or not you're going to be a successful professional. In all transparency, when I was at a 4-year liberal arts college as an art major, I was an A student. When I transferred at the end of my junior year to an elite design school, I was a B student. Neither have determined my ability to succeed. It's what I learned that has determined my ability to succeed. It's what I've learned that has given me the ability to solve creative problems for my clients. My approach to teaching is considered Socratic rather than didactic. I do provide you information, and I provide that through lectures. I provide that through assigned reading. I provide that by making you go research. I provide that by critiquing and giving you feedback. So I give you everything you need to be successful in the class, and every student in my classes receives the same as every other student in my classes. There are no favorites. But my approach is to create thinkers and problem solvers, not learners. So my focus is on critical practice, critical thinking. And that's not critical theory. That's very different from critical theory, by the way. But critical practice and critical thinking use a lot of syllogisms, uses a lot of logic and reason. You have to imagine before you create so that you create what you imagine. Hope that doesn't sound circular, but you have to basically envision what a design is going to be before you start designing it. And so that requires some research. It requires critical thinking to stay on point and get the problem solved so that you're not falling short of meeting the need. So therefore, my approach is Socratic. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to ask you questions that are hopefully going to encourage you to think through what to do and to figure it out for yourself. Because once you have figured it out for yourself, you own it. It's yours. It will never leave you. The Socratic method is more of a questioning method. What if? How did you come to that conclusion? Why did you do this? Why is this that way? And in terms of our research and our looking at the work of others in my courses, we're also looking at using a Socratic approach. What design principles did they use? Why does this design function this way? Why does it look this way? How do form, content, function all marry together to be the total expression of this design? How do human beings actually see what's in front of them in their visual fields? So the Socratic method is not the do this, do that, and so forth. It is the what if you did this, or how can you look at this differently? Or can you take this and can you take that and put them together into something new? So to summarize that, my approach is to encourage and require you to think things through for yourself, because that's what you're going to have to do as a design professional. That the thinking, by the way, is the value to the client. It's not the execution. The execution is the result of the thinking and the problem solving. So keep that in mind too. We're not here to learn to create pretty things. We're here to learn to create things that meet the needs, that achieve the purpose that they're designed to do, and do it in an elegant and beautiful way. So form, function together. I want to talk a bit about an idea of offensive and defensive learning. And offensive not meaning you're taking offense at something. Offensive meaning you're on the offense in terms of you are pushing toward it to take hold of it. You are pursuing it rather than defensive, sitting back and waiting for it to show up or come to you. Learners, students, basically fall into either category: offensive learner, defensive learner. So let's look at the defensive learner first. The defensive learner wants the A. They're going for the grade. The grade is the most important thing. They're asking, how do I earn an A in this class? They might do all the right things, and they might meet and exceed the requirements and earn their A. What will they do beyond the class? If they're going for the grade, their reward is the grade. A year, 2 years, 10, 20 years down the road, they may come up short because their focus was on the grade and not on the assimilation of the information, the skill building, the process. On the other hand, offensive learners understand that what they're learning is preparation for actual practice. So they take in everything. They don't isolate one project or even one course from another. They are going to gather and blend everything. And they are going to go out and exercise curiosity and pursue inspiration and bring it in to themselves, because they're understanding that this is for their benefit for the rest of their life. This is going to make them better designers. It is more that the focus then is on acquiring the skill and the knowledge and putting that into practice so that they can practice professionally. It's that kind of approach from the student point of view that helps create thought leaders within the industries. You can be defensive, get the grade, or offensive. And that's up to you. I will say that the majority of students are usually on the defensive side because they're taking the class just to get the certificate or the degree done. And they're often going to look for other sources to do their work for them, especially now with AI and chatbots. Or they're going to use templates. They're going to use Canva rather than going through the rigorous process of thinking things through themselves. They're going to go look for existing solutions rather than create their brand new innovative solutions. Again, the value of a designer to their clients is in the problem solving, in the critical thinking, in the innovation, in the ability to gather insight. All of these things help create trust in the designer from the client's point of view. And that's important. Any transactional relationship, and when you are practicing professionally, you are in transactional relationships with your clients. And that's whether you're employed by a design firm or you are an entrepreneur. It's all transactional. You give them value, they give you value. The value of design is in the thinking and the problem solving, not in the execution. But the execution has to uphold the value of the thinking. You can't have crappy execution of a really good idea because that's bad design. Neither can you have elegant, refined execution of a really bad idea because that's not good design either. So you have the thinking, the problem solving, all the front end stuff in your process, the ideation, the concept development, the interrogation, the research, the trial and error, the self-critique throughout your design process to make sure that you're staying on track and solving the problem and not going far afield. The execution then is the result of all that hard work and hidden work up front. The client sees the execution. They don't see all your hard work that got you to the execution, that got you to the visible result. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it gives you the ability to understand where I'm coming from and the fact that you are going to be more valuable as a thinker and problem solver than you are as somebody who just executes, meaning you just create pretty things. Thanks for watching.